had given you the basis of Property Angels. It is a registered company which was registered in 2004 in June. And I was going to read you the details of the directors of the company. Property Angels has 4 directors. The first one is Mr. Vinod D. Vinod is V-I-N-O-D. Then a D. Then Vadera. V-A-D-E-R-A. The second director is Narendra. N-A-R-E-N-D-R-A. Then a D. Then ending with Vadera also. The third director is Mrs. Paramijit. Paramijit is P-A-R-A-M-J-I-T. Then the other name is K-A-U-R, Kaur. Then the last one is Sain, S-A-I-N-I. The last one is Mrs. Harsha. Harsha is H-A-R-S-H-A. I repeat, H-A-R-S-H-A. Harsha. Then another name is Raj, R-A-J. The last name is Dewani, D-E-W-A-N-I. Those are the directors of Property Angels Limited. Property Angels is basically a property management company where managers who manage property on behalf of other people. In essence, we are commission agents. We earn a commission for that what?
Mr. Chairman, please. Whereas we appreciate Mr. Garu's submission, but I would propose that whatever document or information he refers to, because I understand
Yeah, I have.
that should be company form something that shows.
Yeah, it is here. I'm going to submit. I'll give them because I have them. Whatever I'm talking about, I'll submit them. No problem. Can I proceed? Proceed. Yeah. Basically, Property Angels is a property management company whereby we earn a commission for managing those properties. In essence, we don't actually own these properties. We don't own them as it has been said. We are just managing. Now, coming to the point, why are we here? We are here actually because of 6 sawmills, Movule Furniture Mart, and Mr. Balbinda Singh, who actually happen to be our clients. We got powers of Anthony from these companies and this individual to manage their companies. That is the reason why Property Angels. Exactly. Okay. Let me give you all these whatever I've been. That is for Balbinda. That is for 6 sawmills. And that is for Movule Furniture.
Members, we have powers of attorney here. 2013. Custodian board?
Yes.
Yeah, 2013. 12th February 2013. That's for Victoria Furnitures, giving them powers. This is property areas.
Yeah.
This is Victoria Furniture, MAT. PO Box 1132, 1123, Ginger, giving powers to property angels to be the true and lawful attorney and agent of the donor with full powers and authority from the donor in the name of hereby empowered attorney to act on his behalf and sign the side documents to look after money properties, control and deal with all affairs. It was given on 12th day of February 2013. Then I have powers of attorney here from Balbinda Singh. It was given on the same day of 12th day of February 2013 by Mr. Balbinda to to property angels on the same day. Let me see the signature on that. Let me see. Given on the same day, but satisfied by different individuals, and signed by different individuals by the time they filed it in then before me, these are the directors and Form 7 of the directors. Form 7 directors. Then certificate of incorporation. It was incorporated on 16th day of June 2004. May the record capture all that. Then seeing trading license. The latest is 2020. And I'm seeing powers of attorney by 6 sawmills given on the same day of 12th day of February. For them, all these companies, they sat together and they gave this on the same day. But when they filed the powers of attorney, it was received by different people. So members should not keep note of that. You can proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah. Now I've provided the powers of attorney. Can I proceed?
Proceed.
Yeah. You might be wondering, because I'm seeing you comparing the powers and the signatures. Actually, Mr. Balbinda Singh, as an individual, happens to be a director in both Muvule, Furniture Mart, and 6 sawmills. Well, that's why you see that all those powers were given on the same day.
So the same company?
They are different companies, but Mr. Balbinda...
The same person?
Correct. One person is a director in those companies.
And he's not giving powers on behalf of other directors. Would you be knowing other directors in those companies?
No, actually, I don't know most of them, but at least we know Mr. Balbinda Singh, who is very well known. Even in court, he has been coming in court.
But if I may ask,
Yes, please.
the company, if a director in the company wants to do any activity on behalf of the company, does he have a resolution.
Yeah, we assume actually they went all through that. That is
You
when they
assume?
came. Yeah, because actually for us we requested for the powers to allow us to manage. So it was on their side to go through the legal procedure, provide us the power, which they did. And on that basis,
Let's proceed.
we took over.
Proceed.
Yes, please.
No, let's proceed. Just keep your question. Unless it's, but if not that, let's proceed.
Mr. Chairman.
Just a quick one, Chair.
Okay.
We are looking at these documents of 2013.
Yes.
And you are saying the company was incorporated in 2004.
2004.
So what have you been doing?
Property angels. Property angels.
Since 2004, what have you been doing? You are just
No,
looking
I've
at
been in the business of managing property.
which ones now?
Other than these ones.
Other than
The
these
ones-
ones, which ones?
Let me
Okay, proceed.
clarify on that. Because actually, in my submission, I have told you how property angels comes in relation to Muvule Furniture, 6 Mills, and Balbinda Singh. Because from the powers, we were given the powers in 2013. That is when actually they handed over the properties to us to manage. That is 6 Mills, Muvule Furniture, and Mr. Balbinda
Yeah, and the
in 2013, as per the powers.
As you proceed,
Yeah.
when we invited
Yes, please.
you appear before here, to give narrative of the properties which were managed on behalf of others. Did you take a courage to know what you want? Because having given the powers and everything, you know your clients, they are there.
Correct.
Did you took the due diligence to consult them pertaining the way how they did repossess these properties which they gave you?
No, Mr. Chairman, actually, we didn't consult them on that particular issue of repossession. Because actually, when we took over management, when they gave us the powers, we had also requested for at least documentations to the properties which were being given. And actually, they gave us some copies of the documents that proved that they are the owners. For example, they gave us titles for the properties, and also, in some cases, they gave us the letters of repossession and certificates, which actually made us believe that they are the owners.
If I may ask you, and put some bit of question for you.
Yes, Chairman.
If you have these two bags,
Yes.
I think these are your property. not
Yes,
some.
yes,
And these ones are your property.
yes.
And those papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, all
Yes.
those are your properties.
Yes.
Now, if you go out and they ask you to come in to pick your properties, and you only pick the book, will that, what will somebody who really understand, because all these are your properties,
Yes.
but when you ask you to come in, go and pick all your books, all your properties in there, and you only pick the book and you leave others. What is somebody who thinks, what would he think?
That maybe the other property I've left out is not yours.
Proceed.
Mr. Chairman, we took over the properties of 6 Mills and Ginas, Muvule Furniture, Mart, and Mr. Balbinda in 2013. That is after the owners had revoked the previous powers that had been given to the previous managers.
Who are the previous managers?
The previous managers were S.N. Gandesha and company.
Yes. And
S.N. Gandesha and company.
those were the previous managers.
Correct. So after them revoking those powers, they had given to Gandesha, then they gave us the powers to manage. And since 2013, that is when Property Angels has appeared in issues regarding Balbinda Singh, Six Sawmills and Guinness, and Muvule Furniture Mart. I have copies of the revocations here for your file.
Now that Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
I was a bit skeptical to really tell you what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
That's why I give you that example. But I'm constrained that the committee might not be useful to the committee. You can only be useful to the committee if you can bring the owners, because you are in touch with them.
Correct.
And for us, the issue is about the owners.
Exactly.
Because what we believe, we think that those properties we're managing, they were fraudulently repossessed. That's why I'm giving you an example.
Correct.
That if I give you these 3 bags, these are your properties. Mr. Gani, you say, no, wait, Mr. Gani, I'm not giving you the one. What I'm saying, if you come with that sanitizer of yours, and that book of yours, and those sunglasses of yours, then someone says, by person, all of you go out, we go out. When you reach out, and somebody will say, okay, all of you can pick your things. And instead of picking your sanitizer and the glasses and the book, you come over and pick your sunglasses. Somebody who sees less to you, how do you think of these ones remaining? You either have 3 things. One, the person who did come to pick the properties, he was not the owner.
Yeah.
He just came in and find that the only useful thing among the properties there, it is that sunglasses. And he go with the sunglasses because he doesn't mind how to use about this. Or because it beats my understanding. Because now we are talking to you as managers.
Yes.
As managers. So on that, we have a problem. We have list of properties which were not repossessed under the same company. Whenever you see this, all these are lists of properties. And you saw what we submitted before.
Yes.
So maybe what you can help us is to give us the list of those properties we're managing. Do you have it with you?
No, actually, when we went through this booklet, the list of properties provided here is the same list actually, which they handed over to us for management.
Whatever is in the book,
whatever we saw here is actually the same list.
No, Mr. Chairman, as Mr. Garo was flowing, to me he was flowing very well. From the time you made the contract, the powers of attorney. Now after powers of attorney, we want the list of the properties that was handed over to Property Angels, not the list that Parliament provided. Maybe with a covering letter and whatnot, and the other relevant documentations.
Can I proceed?
Yeah. If you are proceeding in submitting the list.
Mr. Chairman, actually, when I received this booklet on 15th, when I received this booklet on the 5th of November. I perused through this list, and it is no different from actually the list we got, because this same list has appeared several times, and it has been submitted even court, tendered in court as the evidence. So it does not change from actually what we did. That is the reason why I did. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
As an employee of the property agency,
Yes.
where are these players of yours?
They are in Nairobi, Kenya.
Nairobi, Kenya.
Correct.
How do you transfer the proceeds
From these
from
properties.
The you're managing today?
Mr. Chairman, I would want to state this one categorically clear to you, that since we took over management in 2013, tenants in Jinja, together with the custodian board, came up with some statements in Jinja, whereby they came up and started stating that we people, property angels, were fraudsters, and we are not supposed to collect rent from them.
Advancing which reason?
Now, the reason was that when management changed from SN Gandesha to Property Angels, that is when this issue came up. People came up and said, how can, because people initially had a belief that the previous managers, SN Gandesha, maybe owned the properties.
No, let's not go and listen. I
Yes.
know where I will go.
Yes.
When I want the SN Gandesha, at least I know where I will go. Let us limit ourselves to where you are.
Exactly.
That is a property.
Angels.
Angels.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking you, because they tasked you with the responsibility
Of
of
managing.
managing this property, renting rent for this property.
Correct.
Thereafter, you submit the process.
To the
Like
owners.
to me, as a commission agent, you get what belongs to you,
Yeah.
and you submit what doesn't belong to you, to the owner, to your client.
Correct.
My question is very simple.
Yes.
How do you transfer the process from property angels to your clients?
The process of transferring the proceeds is that after we have computed and removed our commission, the balance, we are supposed to remit it to the accounts of the owners.
Can we have those accounts of the owners?
Accounts of the owners. I didn't come with the details, but I can provide the information at a later date. But
When do you think you can provide the information?
when you give me time, I have to.
No, it doesn't mean, because really, if you charge me,
Yes.
and because you need to show, when I ask you from the contract, you have to have one management contract
Yes.
with those people, right? You must have a contract. And the agreement will say, we are remaining, whatever we collect, at least 10% remains here, we give you 70%, not so.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
I asked you, do you have that?
The management contracts.
Yeah. Did you come with it?
No, we didn't come with them. We didn't come with them.
Mr. Chairman, we are dealing with strangers.
No. Why are we strangers? We have been
No.
stuff.
Mr. Chairman, one cannot tell me that you cannot get courage of coming with the powers of Anthony, and then you don't come with the contract letter. You can't. There is no way. First of all, the document, the parliament letter was very clear. And you were wise to come along with the powers of Anthony. And then you were, let me not use this word, but you left out the contract document. And you are well aware that the properties you are managing, they are not yours. You don't have evidence that you were rightly managing the properties. And then lastly, that you can't even provide where you remit the funds. Mr. Chairman, I don't think for us to proceed, I think for us to proceed with these guys, with these people here, the witnesses.
Members, I think.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Members, no, wait, we still need them.
No, Chair.
Some information. Huh?
Chairman,
Okay, proceed. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just have some quick questions for you. When did you join this company?
Property Angels?
Yes, as an employee.
2007.
Now, in 2007,
All right.
in your introduction, you're saying you are manager, accounting, and administration.
Yes.
Now, I want to find out from you very quickly, how do you collect this money from your clients? Do you just go and pick cash, or they have an account where they bank the money?
No. At times we go and pick cash and we issue receipts.
And then you do what? You bank the money, or you don't?
Obviously, all the monies we collect from the tenants, we bank.
On which account?
We
Property
bank
Angels
on
account.
Property Angels account.
And then
Then afterwards, on a quarterly basis, we are supposed to prepare reports. Now, after when we prepare that report, the report shows us exactly how much we have collected from all the properties of that given client, maybe 6 objects. And after we have determined the equivalent we have collected, we determine what is actually our commission,
How much is your commission?
10%.
okay, now the chairman, the question from the chairman was, you have banked money on your account.
Yes.
You have determined how much you have collected. You are taking your commission.
Yes.
How do you submit the balance to your clients? Do you wire the money? Do you withdraw and give them cash? That is the question the chair is asking you. How do you transact?
What we do after collecting the money, banking it on our account, preparing the reports, determining what is ours as commission and what remains actually, minus the expenses we have incurred on behalf of that client, we remit the balance.
How do you remit? That's the question the chair
We
is asking you.
deposit it on the account of the client. But
Where
You
is
withdraw and
you withdraw and deposit?
obviously, we just give instructions. We go and fill instructions to the bank and request them
You transfer.
to transfer.
Do you transfer, or they have accounts in the banks here? I want to be clear on that. And there
We
is a
transfer.
reason.
So they have some, I don't know whether, we always transfer to the accounts which they have actually requested us. But, like I have stated here, that the collections minus our commission less the expenses we have incurred on behalf of those clients, the net after the expenses, we remit. Now, in this particular case, I was telling you how we came in. After we took over the properties in
No,
2017.
I don't want the two over.
No, okay.
Just
I'm just bringing you to the point.
For the Gandesha, that side,
No, no,
I
I'm
know
not-
whom to ask.
I'm not talking about Gandhi.
Yes, I just
I'm just
took
talking
over.
about property agents.
Yes.
Because when we took over,
Mm.
the rent payment ceased. People refused to pay rent now. There was a bushfire in Ginger, whereby they are saying, how comes that properties are changing from Gandesha, whom they knew initially as the owner of the property, and now they have changed ownership to property agents, which was not correct. For us, we are just managers. Gandesha also was a manager and we were managers. So on that issue, people refused paying rent.
Yes. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
You are in business.
yes.
You are managing properties where people have refused to pay rent. Eh? That means the company doesn't benefit
Yes.
because you are managing something which is not there. You don't get rent. As a prudent businessman, what would you do?
If I'm in business and I'm not earning out
Yes.
of it,
Mm.
okay, one would wish maybe to leave the business.
For you, why is it that because you are not getting the why is it that you are still insisting?
Now for us,
Wait,
we are saying,
wait. Why is it that you are still insisting? Coupled with all these, I'm seeing court cases, what, coupled with all, you are still insisting that even if I'm not benefiting, I'll go. I'll proceed with because some properties you have sold them, yeah? You have sold the properties, some were sold by property angels. Now, my question is, before I go to the tenets of that, you've been going to court, showing custodian board. I've read through the powers given to you. I've failed to see any of the donor to do the following in regards to the properties. I've not seen anything to do with shoeing, because all there are 10, in each there are 10 issues to follow on behalf of the donor. Look after management, control, dealing with all affairs of the said property as our art to deem fit and proper in sole states, to cover correspondence authorities, to manage all applications, all officers of government, to communicate and continue and call all correspondences, to appeal and represent donor before all officers of revenue department, police department, government. Okay. I think you can couple with that. Let's proceed.
We covered that one.
Yes, that one is okay. Proceed. You are not benefiting.
Yeah. Okay, for us we are saying maybe in the future we're going to benefit because the owners have opted to go to court. The owners have opted to go to court. And in court, they have already won some cases, for example. And for us, we believe that once they implement the judgments, people will start paying. And at that time, actually, we shall begin earning. We shall begin earning because we are given the powers and we cannot just revoke the powers anyhow.
Now, my question is,
yes, Chairman.
before others can come in, I'm looking at Bilbila Singh
Yes.
in all the powers, and you told me he was director in all those companies.
Yes.
I want you to help me to show me what is the true signature of Bilbila Singh among all these. Because I have this signature where Bill Singh, Bilbila was writing. I have this one, the powers of what we give it to you. This was on the Bullet Financial March.
Yes.
I have this one, even under Bilbila Singh himself. I have this one, even under 6 sawmills. This one is for all the siege. Now, those 4. What is the true signature of Bilbila Singh? Do you have a file for Bilbila Singh? You can sign it before. Can you give me the file? Where does the signature of Bilbila Singh here? All, including mine. Yeah. Including mine. Can you
that one you don't know. This is Balbinda.
This one?
This one, 1992, you don't know. This 3, Balbinda.
where? Here? Here? Okay. And this one. On the file, on the original file. And this.
Which one? This one. Mr. Chairman, among the documents you have given me, I can tell you that these are the signatures of Balbinda Singh we know. These other ones, For us, we don't know.
Even the file, the original file of custodian board, you don't know that signature.
It's 19.
Mr. Chairman, for us, we took over in 2013. So whatever happened before that, whatever is on Balbinda's properties,
I don't say, I'm putting it to you.
yes.
But now I'm telling you why we had a red flag.
Yes.
I'm just asking why we had a red flag on the properties you are managing.
Yeah.
Even just on the face of it, before going further, you see we have different signatures from one person. Let's assume it comes before you, Mr.
Gadia.
Gadia. That's the excuse, yeah. Gadia. If it comes before you, you see this one said it's a signature, it's totally different. From this signature is different. From the other signature has a prudent person. Don't you see what is this? Because all these are very important documents pertaining to the same properties.
This is the same issue in court, what you are saying, regarding the signature. Because also in the court, they are saying he is not the one who signed and all the things. But
Because these are files.
But for
It's
us-
just code.
for us, it's the other papers which I gave you.
For you,
No, we know these ones.
Oh,
The
yeah.
signature. Yeah.
Could you think that there can be a possibility somebody to call himself Singh Balbina Singh?
Mr. Chairman,
Do you think, I'm asking just, would you think there could be such a possibility?
I think, Mr. Chairman, that question I wouldn't be actually in position to give the right answer, maybe. Because actually, some of these issues of difference in signature are matters that have come up in court. And the onus was on court to determine. Because at one time, they brought in a signature, a handwriting expert. So those matters actually have been
In court,
In court
the
and-
handwriting expert, what did he say? Because
it's still in court.
as a thing you would have you see, I want to before I finish, you see you are managing properties and you say that the properties you submitted, those are the properties they submitted. You find, and I was expecting you, having given you even the facts as to why we needed you, like where they rejected. They applied for repossession several times and the properties were rejected to be repossessed.
Yeah.
And the custodian board did give a reason as to why they were repossessed. So I expected you to come up at least with that. But I don't blame you because you are not the owner.
correct,
For
correct,
you are just managing.
correct.
So what if now, let me ask you a question. What if we decide that all of those properties belongs to the government with the evidence provided before this committee? As managers, on that one you inform your clients.
clients.
To come with you.
Actually, whatever the committee decides, for us as managers, we are supposed to communicate it to the
So
owners.
you are in good terms of communication with them.
For us, our whatever appearance
Now,
here was
what
to
if the
prove.
committee now decide to ask you to provide your client? Because sincerely speaking, for you, apart from managing,
Nothing else.
you don't know how these properties were acquired, don't so?
Correct.
No, Mr. Badia, speak on the microphone.
No, what you are saying is true. Apart from managers, we don't know what happened before. And that's the reason the client is in court. What you are saying, it is true.
Oh,
Mr.
let
Chairman.
me, you have a question to this?
It's
Because
like-
we want
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman,
you are going to come in.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. Chairman, me, I'm still insisting on our rules of procedures and accountability committee. First of all, they have not provided the contract management, how they made the contract with the owners of this property. Among the documents you have submitted, I don't see that one. Then two, you are saying that whatever you correct, you take your percent and you remit the percent to the client. Mr. Chairman, as an accountability committee, we need bank details. We want to see a bank statement where they are remitting money to the owners as a proof that they have a contract with the owners of the properties and they have been submitting the money. Then two, this issue of signatures, if you have your contract here, we'd even compare and see who gave you the contract.
Powers.
Because now you don't have your contract here, so we can't even trust these signatures. For you say you know, but we don't know. So, Mr. Chairman, can we have the bank details, the statement, and how they have been remitting the money? Can we also have the contract so that we know that they have a contract with the owners of these properties and they are just managers?
Mr. Chairman.
Before you come in, I'm going to give you. But then the reason why we are insisting on contract management, because this is part of it.
Yes,
It doesn't detail how you will be managed, how you will be working in terms of proceeds, how you will be collecting that money, where you will be remitting them from, what percentage. That's when you say we are going to levy this for the taxes, you know. You see, that's the reason we are asking that. We are not saying that you don't have it.
Yeah.
We are saying that it's very paramount in this thing for you to provide that,
Yeah.
Mr. Daniel.
Mr. Chairman, as my colleague said, since we took the management in 2013, we have the rentals has since ceased. We have never remitted any funds to these clients because the money has not been collected from the tenants. They are not paying rent.
Since 2013, you have never remitted
Never remitted to these clients because
any fund
to
the client.
the Balbinder, Gill, Six Sawmills and Moola Furniture.
You have never.
Never remitted any funds to them.
The little which we collected
Collect from
actually
few tenants
has
being paid to council guys to pay the
yeah,
ground rents.
we have paid
property
for expenses, which has not actually even been enough because we have had to call them to bring in more money for us to pay off their expenses.
Do you have those communications?
Communications like
Like now, when you say we communicate with them,
Yeah.
which mode of communication do you use to communicate with them? You know that we don't receive anything. At least we have, let's say, we have a less this to pay for a bill. This is the little we have money to collect. Even what we have money to collect, this is ABC. Do you have that?
we always said we can get you the copies of the mails which you always write to them. As I told you, whatever rent we collect, we do it expense in the
In
properties.
200 plus properties,
It's not 200.
when these people were entrusted with all these properties, they have never remitted even a coin. You know, when
Chair, I'm sorry.
sorry.
Chair, this we are. Balbinder does not have 200 properties. I can tick the properties which we manage of Balbinder and Six Sawmills. I can pick from the list. It's not 200.
But you would do that because the reason is why you came in here, you would tell us that as managers, wait, please.
Mr. Chairman, I think as my colleague had said, we are either dealing with strangers or we are dealing with people who are not honest. The gentleman is on record that he has been collecting money, deduct his commission, deduct the expenses, and then remit the balance to the owners. Another person is saying since 2013 they have never remitted anything. Which one do we take now?
Mr. Chairman.
No, wait. You see, it's because you rushed.
Yes.
I was blaming them clear because it's on record. He said that 10% was explained. And said then the rest will deposit. Then that's when I asked for the accounts, which he willingly said he will provide the accounts. Because he's the accountant, I would believe him because he's an accountant. And he is the
account, manage accounts,
And manage and what?
And administration.
And administration. So you know the expense and whatever. Right? But now your boss is telling us that since you got that power to manage those properties, you have never remitted even a coin. Now let me ask you a question. Who is right among you and him? Who is telling this confidence?
Now, Mr. Chairman, actually what this gentleman asked me, what is the procedure you take when you are going to remit the money to these people? I explained. I said, we collect the funds. After collecting, we determine the total. After determining the total, we determine what is our commission, the 10%. After removing the 10%, we remove the expenses we have incurred on behalf of that particular client. Whatever is net of the expenses, we remit. Now, my colleague is saying we have never remitted any funds to them. It is correct. Why? Because when we get what we have collected and remove expenses, actually, the money was not even enough to meet the expenses, whereby we had to call in the owners to bring in funds to enable us meet expenses like ground rent, property rates, extension of leases. Excuse me.
I don't want to invoke some of the rules of procedure.
Yes,
And from the start, I said we need honesty.
correct.
Exactly.
It can help us to solve this problem.
Yes.
Now, you are collecting rent
Yes.
and you're paying ground rents. All the properties you don't manage, which owned by those where you don't get proceedings, but you keep on managing them with the little you have. And so,
Yes.
but as you are collecting those, you just tick.
It's ticked already.
You tick.
It is this page and the second page.
And the second page.
Mr. Chairman, this is one of the reasons why I asked for the list that the owners handed over to them. Because Mr. Ogaro said it's actually the same list. Now, the managing director is saying not all properties.
Which page, which second page?
The other one, after that. Yeah, that one folded.
With this?
Yeah.
These are the borrowing money.
Plus the other one in front, where I
This
have
one
folded.
and this.
Yeah, that's the property of 6
Mr. Chairman,
So you borrow
This-
money with this.
These are properties of 6 Mills, Muule Furniture Mart, and Balbinda Gill.
The rest in here,
Is that the only list which you have in the file? Because I don't know, I saw a big list there.
no, there's a lot of risks.
no, that means even the managing director has not access to the list.
We already access.
Yes, that's what it means. If you are asking, is that the only list?
That's the same list there behind.
Some risk,
Yeah.
yes. Then,
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, can we insist, Chair, on looking at the contract? Because what he's telling us should be among the terms in the contract. But also important, the Chair, in the contract, there must be a list of properties, not this list you are getting from the,
Which they are disowning now.
which you are disowning now. What do you have in the contract?
No, we're
What
not
are you owning
disowning.
in the contract?
We're not disowning the list. That's why we are.
Which one are you owning? Because you can see he's digging, he's leaving some.
Yet Mr. Garo had said
What
it's
was
actually
it?
the same list.
The same
The
list.
list that we provided, and now the managing director is saying some of the properties.
members pertaining that, I think we'll take the manager. Because maybe being a junior officer, he doesn't know exactly what belongs to them.
Then we rather
And the
accept.
manager, general manager, could be in position to tell this committee.
Chair, then we rather take on the manager to answer our questions than this man misleading the committee.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
going to give it.
I think I'm not misleading the committee. Allow me say this. Yesterday,
Can we put in the
I got a
post?
list sent to me by Mr. Solomon Kirunda, which list actually contained almost all the properties of what? 6 Mills, Balbin, and whatever. This list here you are seeing, all these properties don't belong to Balbinda Singh. This list, this other list here. Eh?
So already,
This one, no, which you told
this
me.
one.
Some of the properties listed
so
in
already
this.
one,
Only the one which I would think.
only the one you have ticked. Those are the ones. Okay, that's what it looks. But I will need to have
Mr. Chairman,
correlation with what I have.
Mr. Chairman, when we are starting this meeting, you wanted to know who was the head of the delegation. And Mr. Gavi said it is going to be the head of the delegation. And the top manager said it is okay, he can lead the delegation. Now, if we start getting conflicting statements from the lead of the delegation and the top manager, Chair, I don't think we are proceeding very chair. And I don't think as a committee we are going to benefit from Mr. statement.
Members, I think I requested for a clerk because there are some issues which need technical aspects in what they have submitted, and others need intervention of our police officer, the CIDs, to investigate further. But I requested our clerk to have our CIDs here so that we can proceed. But as he is contacting them, let's ask custodian board. You've heard what they have presented. What do you have to say? Thank you.
I have some actually we're in court with the property angels. But on our record, given what you have on record, I beg to pose a question. When you were taking over management of these properties, did you take it upon yourselves to make a search on all those properties to know whether those properties are free of any encumbrance?
Mr. Ogalo, can you respond to that question? No. Proceed.
So if anybody brought in here evidence that those properties that you are managing for and on behalf of 6 Mills have encumbrances, would it be proper and would it augur well to put it to you that you are managing properties of which you don't know the status thereof?
Executive Secretary, I think we should not repeat more what we have repeat ourselves. They say for them, they only stop in management. They don't know anything. What the question now is, I've asked them. They say they are in touch with the owners. And they can easily communicate with the owners. Now, the committee, if we ask you to bring the owners, would you do so?
Mr. Chairman, if you request us, we shall communicate with the owners and we will request that you give a formal
Then, Honorable Chair,
You will give us the contacts and everything?
Honorable Chair, also on record, on top of that submission, we have the directors of 6 Mills. Actually, on record, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 people. And Honorable Chair, if I'm allowed, I can read them verbatim for record purposes. Honorable Chair, number 1 is Inder Singh Gill, Barbinder Singh Gill, then Ranbir Gill, Inder Singh Gill Discretionary Trust, then Mrs. Kurwanti Kir Magrat, then there is Jagir Kargir, then there is Barba Kargir, then Haminda Kargir, Sarba Sada, then Jajit Kirgir, Bajret Kir Bak, then Hadip Kir Mangat, then Pradeep Kar Panam, there is Jadip Kar Magat, then Barbinda Singh Gir, then Bardeep Singh Gir, and Inda Singh Gir, son of Gat Singh, then Bekam Kamal Gir, wife of Inda Singh Gir, then Jaga Gir, and Barbinda Singh Gir. Another one. Then when I was chair,
Chairperson, can I ask a small question?
Please.
On the list that you have read, you have a Vikram in the Singh Gill.
no,
There is no Vikram
there is no Vikram.
in the Singh
No,
Gill.
no. Then when I was chair, on record, we have the properties which were applied for repossession. And there are 16 of them, irrespective of other irregularities that we shall put to the committee, because this is SN Gandesha who paid for the application of repossession. And this was done in 2006. 2006. And SN Gandesha paid for the application fee on 7th December 2006. And the Honorable Chair, whereas SN Gandesha paid on 7th December 2006 for the application in respect of these properties, but there is a certificate of repossession which was issued on 6th November 2006.
You applied when?
The application fee was paid on 7th December 2006.
Then,
But the contrary, the certificate of repossession was already issued on 6th November 2006.
the other is the same.
December. Actually, what would have prepared anybody to write a certificate of repossession was done much later, after repossession. Technically, we shall add on what it means, and also the person who signed the certificate of repossession. Then also, I beg to submit to this committee that we have the search reports for all those reports as of August 2019. That's why it would be prudent for the real owners to be here to prove, because we have the search reports which we shall hand over to the committee as of 2019, meaning that by 2019 the property angels were already in the management of the properties, meaning that they would be privy to this information as managers of these properties.
Before I proceed to them, let me ask Badge.
Because we have properties, Honorable Chair and members, that have caveats as of 1972 to date.
We shall have that. We shall proceed. We shall ask you to submit those researches. But before we go into that, let me ask the manager of Badge. Among the properties you submitted, for you, how did you manage, or do you have powers to manage those properties? Who gave you the powers to manage those properties? And where do you remit the proceeds from those properties? And do you have a contract management so that you can also see that yes, indeed you're managing the properties or you own the properties?
Thank you, Chair. Once again, my name is Juliet Naigagabafati. I'm the manager of Badge and Property Management. As a Juliet, I worked for Chintu and Company Advocates as the secretary and company advocate. SN Gandesha and the SN Gandesha advocate. Then SN Gandesha and company.
No, now, I want to be clear on this. You worked with Chintu and company advocates.
Yes.
Then you worked with SN Gandesha advocates.
Yes.
Then you worked with SN Gandesha and company advocates.
Absolutely.
Proceed.
Yeah, I was working as the secretary for all those companies until in 2013 when me and my colleague, that is Alice Linda, yeah, we made a partnership with her.
With who?
With Linda.
Badge.
We are two. It is a partnership, not a limited company.
Okay.
But the ours is just a partnership of managing properties on behalf of the owners.
On behalf of that?
Of the owners, meaning we are just agents. Yes.
You get commission.
We get commission just.
Which owners?
I have a list of different what?
Owners. If you can help us. No, don't stand there. Just sit. I can stand and swing.
This is our certificate.
You can speak to them. You can speak to them, then you... See. Now, both of you are Ugandans.
Yeah, we are Ugandans.
And among the properties, I think this letter was written, supposed to be written to us. As per the subject above, SN Gandesha Camp has never owned any property in Uganda. They are just agents and any other person, like any other person. 6 sawmills and beginners were used to manage their properties, but when they closed their business in March 2013, they opted out and gave powers to MS Property Angels Limited on 17th March and closed a letter stopping SN Gandesha to manage their properties. MS Badge and Property Management, as per subject matter, Badge and Property Management is managing various properties which were formerly possessed by original rightful owners. List of properties managed by Badge are as follows. Among these properties, which custodian board should take note that Badge only manages 411 Main Street, and the original proprietor was Khadija, Abakal, and Zainab. They managed plot 19A, B, C, Main Street. The original owners are Jedarabi, Premjibai, and others. They manage Plot 52, Main Street. Registered trustees were Kindos Shabab. The managed plot 10, Iganga. The former proprietors of Fatima S. Abdullah and 4 others, and they are in court. They managed plot 19, Iganga. The former owner Ansuyabeni Unjirata, and they are in court. They managed plot 23 Lubas. 23 Lubas. The former owner was Kaltal Singh Mangati, they are in court. They managed plot 16, Gabla. The former owners were Kantlali P. Raja and another, they are in court. They managed plot 20, Gabla. The former owner is Pitamba Motbai. Temporal allocation won the case in court. I don't know what it means, it will help us to understand. They managed plot 22, Clive Road. The former owner, Halali N. Patel and another. They managed plot 6A, Kachi Road. The former owner is E.V. Kotecha, half. They managed half.
Half.
Huh?
It is half divided for 2
Half
people.
divided, so you manage half.
Yes, half.
Point of information.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
road east to west.
It is in
Kachi Road
west.
You manage a half.
Half.
Then a half, who manages a half?
The owner collects his rent himself.
Then plot 1C, Iganga Road. The former owner is VJ A. Koticha. Plot 13, Oboja Road. The former owner is VJ Koticha. Plot 7, Catch Road West. The former owner is PD Koticha. Plot 10, Catch Road West. The former owner is Lalsinji Iyani Sinji. These are the owner properties. There are
Yes.
14 properties you are managing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
now, among those 14 properties you are managing, could we have the power to purchase, which gave you the power to manage these properties?
Others, I have letters of instruction. I'm bringing again more. That one on the top is for plot 10 and 11, Main Street.
This is memorandum of understanding. Let us view on this memorandum of understanding you have,
Yes.
which we got on 10th day of May 2013, regarding property. Custodian board, you agree with her that these were the former owners of this property? Dr. Fatima S. Abdallah and others, yeah?
Plot 10,
Iganga. Where?
Plot 10 Iganga Road.
Where the former owners?
The former owners were Kantiral, Lalada, and Aswani.
Huh?
Kantiral, Lilada, Naswani. Actually, we met these people in Canada.
I remember. That proceed.
Those were the owners.
Only, how many are they?
No, only one person.
Is that who used to own this property?
Yes.
I remember we found Sada, huh?
Okay. Now, there was a Fatma, Saleh Abdallah, and the 4 others. They just bought this property from Natwani.
Mama, let me ask the question. The problem, Mama, but I will try as much as I can to, because you are my mother, by virtue of coming where you are coming from. But I also need to do the government work, the responsibility as to why I'm here. Any property which was vested under custodian board, not until the minister dealt in this property, you would not deal in that property. Now, how did Abubakar Saleh Mansar and Fatima Saleh Abdallah got into this property?
Okay, when late Gandisha was still alive, these people, Kantlala, gave him powers to do what? To sell the property. That is how they came in.
The question is, all properties which were vested under custodian board,
Yes.
nobody had a right, even the former owner, not until the minister dealt in it. When the minister, the government went ahead to put the property for sale, that means whoever would come and repossess the former owner, he would ask for compensation. Because the government has not dealt in it and has sold the place, assuming he has sold the property, they will come and ask him for compensation. Now, before the minister dealing with this property, before the minister dealing with the property, how then that these people dealt in the same?
Anyway, that one I don't know. As I told you, that's me, I was just a secretary. But what I know, that they bought the property.
If you are not my mother, I'll put you on oath. But because you are, I'm sorry, members, for having my interest on that. But don't you think custodian board give us information on this property?
Actually, you were proceeding well. And it should also give my honest answer. That Gandesa lived in his property